Hey there guys, TC Made with TC Gaming. Wanted to bring you another video in our gameplay tag series. In this particular episode, we're going to talk about using something like ChatGPT to generate a tag list and also work with that in conjunction with Google Spreadsheets to be able to put them into a list that we can bring into our system. I'm going to go out here and get Google Sheets. And if you haven't used this before, it's pretty easy to sign up for an account or whatever. I'm already signed in here and just start a new blank spreadsheet. And what we want to do is also open up chatgpt.com. There's a free version of this basically to give you, access to some basic things, or you can sign up for more extended GPTs. And what I'm going to do in here is I'm just going to use this to see if I can ask this a couple of questions to generate some basic tags for me to use into my RPG. So I'll ask it some questions. I'll say something to the effect of, are you familiar with Unreal Engine gameplay tags? And then it'll answer back and it says, yes, I'm aware of those. And let's say, are you familiar with Ambrosia trade skill system? Okay. So this was, let me ask it again. Are you familiar with Ambrosia trade skill system or Neverwinter? Okay. So can you generate a gameplay tag list of skills from Ambrosia trade skill? Okay. And it gives me a list there. Now this has underscores in it. And we're just going to say, can generate a list using dot instead of underscore. All right. And they'll give us a basic list here. These are different types of, crafting, gathering, blah, blah, blah. We could extend this to say, can you also provide gameplay tag lists for general skills used in an RPG? Right, so, just basically using this to generate some ideas for us and everything. And then what we can do is we can take these and just paste them over here into our Google spreadsheets. So I'll copy these. I'm going to put these in column 2, and I'm going to leave column 1 blank, row 1 rather. So we'll put that in there. And I can also go and get our other list up top here. And I can also put those in. All right, now these are a little all over the place, and we might want to replace some of this with the word skill. So we could, in our chat GPT, we could have also said, can you prefix these with skill dot? Okay. Skill dot crafting dot smithing. You could put alchemy, smithing, cooking on, or crafting. These are social skills, survival skills, so on and so forth. So if you like this list better, we'll use this. It's fine. It's a multi-level hierarchy. We'll put that there. Copy this. Go back in here, and I will just replace these. Them and put them in here from beat down. Just to give you an example here. I mean, obviously this is so arbitrary. You could do this however you want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Unreal Engine project. I'm going to go into my gameplay tag list. And remember, I had skill.mining, blacksmithing, and smelting. So I don't want to lose those. Let's see if we have skill.mining. No, so skill. I want to just leave those in here for now. So let's add them in. We'll put at the very top of this, we'll just say insert rows above. And we'll put, let's use these basic ones, skill dot blacksmithing, skill dot mining, and skill dot smelting. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because I already have these in use in the code there. So when I bring this list in, I don't want to break the stuff that I already had. And again, you could generate hundreds of thousands of codes if you want to and bring those in. So what we want to do though is we want to look at the structure of this data table. And so it has row name, tag, and then dev comment. So I'm going to say this should be called row name, should be called tag, called dev comment. And actually, I think row name was team, like that. Yeah, row name, tag, dev comment. Now, you could also ask ChatGPT to generate this for you in a table format. So I could go back here and say, can you provide this in a table format with 3 columns called, let's say with 3 columns. Column 1 called row name. Column 2 called tag and should contain our list items. Column 3 called dev comments. See what that does. All right, so it generates it out for us and gives us data that we're looking for in the format that we want it. So I'm just going to leave, I already have row name, tag, and dev comments, so I'm just going to grab these with the new values in them, copy this, go out here to my entitled spreadsheet, and again, I'm just going to replace values here. I'll delete them. Oh, I left the 3 in there. Start here and just paste these in. I have to renumber these. So this was skill. Actually, let's just undo it. Can I undo it? Undo. Come from here down. Click here and new skills. I'll go and I'll number this 1, 2, 3. I'll highlight my range, drag this down to the bottom, renumber everything. And then over here, we can just follow the format that they have. We'll just call this blacksmithing skill, mining, and smelting. Well, none of this is needed. Okay, but now we have our basic little lists and all of our comments and values for the here. And so all we need to do is we're gonna give this a name. I'm gonna call it skill list for trade. And file download as a CSV. It asked me where well, actually, it didn't, just go right to my default directory, which is what happened for you too. The skill list for trade, sheet 1. I go into here, there's a button up here that says re-import. And I can go to, close this right here. not asking me for value. Say data table details. So it already has a source file here. And I can just go change the source file. So this was called, looks like might have been this. Download says skill list for trade sheet 1. So let's open that location. It's actually right here. Call it skill list for trades. CSV. And in here, a lot of stuff going on here. In here, should have the download. Skill list for trades. Oh, here it is, all the way at the end of that. So my eyes didn't see that up there with this big empty space. Is the last thing in there. So if I hit that, it'll pull my data table in. I can say re-import, and it'll update all those values to have the new list in here. So that added a new row called row name, which again is irrelevant because we're just looking at whatever the tag is. And so if we save that, we can go back to our gameplay. Well, our gameplay tags table has that in there. So we're going to go and look at our trade skill character. Go back to our skill system and make sure that we still have that tag in there for skill blacksmithing. You hit the drop down now, though, you'll see that you also have under skills, you now have all these subcategories: artisan, athletics, blacksmithing, combat, crafting, knowledge, and then the two that we had outside of that system: social, stealth, and survival. And then you have subcategories for each of these that were generated for you. So now you have a lot of different tags that you can play with to put onto your character for different things. And like I said before, you can put these directly onto a tag container and just say, does the person have this thing, in general? Does the person have blacksmithing or, whatever? And we could probably go in and rename blacksmithing to put it underneath of the crafting section. I don't know that it's that important, but let's just see what happens if I go in here and rename the tag for blacksmithing, if it goes underneath of crafting by putting the prefix on there. So it would be crafting dot blacksmithing. Let's go gameplay tags and see if I can go here and say, let's call this, it's going to be crafting skill. Crafting. They already have a smithing in there too. So yeah, let's just call it crafting. Although we're calling this a skill system. But yeah, I mean, the way that I put these in here, that should all be under skill. Oh, it is under skill. Yeah, my brain is whacked out here. We just want to verify that our skill is here under the array. So if you just come under here, skill.blacksmithing stayed in there. And if you pop this out, you'll see that you have, a whole bunch of other skills now, like artisan, athletics, combat. There's plenty of different tags that were generated just from that little example that we can now have in a hierarchy, and we can add additional things and pull from those if we want to. So if we wanted to make this, a little bit deeper, if we wanted to call this skill crafting dot blacksmithing, I think we can go into our original table and go in here and say skill and change this to skill dot crafting dot blacksmithing and update that. And same thing with mining, skill dot crafting dot mining, skill dot crafting dot smelting. And then there was one down here called skill dot smithing. We could change to something else. We'll call it skill dot crafting dot. Was there one for leather working? We'll create one. leather. We'll just call it leather work. That does. Save this. Come back to trade skill character. And we might have to come off that component and refresh. Alright, that tag's been removed, so we want to go back now and pick skill dot blacksmith. And I should have capitalized that. Not capitalize. Again, this is just an idea for you guys to generate tags a little bit more rapidly. Now it's got the capital in. Okay. And everything that we did over here where we were doing a check for tags is still going to work. We just have to update our the value that we're actually looking for in here. So we had these little buttons down here to check for a skill. Skill.mining doesn't exist anymore. So now we'd have to check for skill.crafting.mining. And we could leave that alone. Here it's going to be skill.crafting.mining. Again, these are just, you call them at runtime anyway. That was mining. Skill to add would be skill.mining. Like so. And that should pretty much help you get your system updated with some tags in there, so you don't have to be laboriously entering those into a system. And there's a lot of stuff you can do. Obviously, if you know how to use spreadsheets, you could also put prefixes over here. You can randomly generate things, pull them from different lists, prefix them the way you want to, clean them up, put them into a common thing here, and then do what you want. The beauty of this, too, is if you add more tags, you can just go and add them to this thing, export your list out, and then when you hit re-import, it'll bring in the new levels that are underneath of that. And as long as you haven't changed the names of existing ones like I did in there, it should stay intact and work for you. That's just a quick example using ChatGPT with Google Spreadsheets to create a CSV list to bring into a gameplay tag container to update your system so you have more tags to work with to label things. We'll get into some more stuff down the road. You guys have a great night, and thanks again. TC Made with TC Gaming. See you in a future video.